All right, got off to a rocky start. Started off with giving up a three and then fouled on a three-pointer. Kind of jump-started our first half off pretty badly. And we regrouped at halftime and came out and played a spectacular second half. So hopefully we can learn from this and move on to the next game. The conference play starts, and we'll hit first and have more of our entire game be more like the second half was today.
Penny, you've emphasized rebounding so much. Kind of how were you feeling in the first half to see them kind of beating you on the boards? What did you say at half? Jeremiah said you were kind of threatening to pull guys if they didn't come through in the second half. So what was kind of the message? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we talk about rebounding all the time in practice. And for us, really in the first time out, the first media time out, for the first time I've ever seen that there has been no rebounds by anybody on our team in 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. That was how so that kind of got me in a bad mood. And then by halftime, I saw that we had like 7 guys with 0 or 1 rebound. And that's not what we want to be. That's not who we are. That's all about toughness and effort. And I gave the team the first 3 minutes of the second half to show different, and they came out and responded to that.
Speaking of the first 3 minutes of the second half, that was a totally different team that came out. They came out defensively and offensively. Why can't they come out just to start the game?
I think the problem with these guys is that their minds are on the wrong things. They're not on what it takes for us to win. I don't know what it is, but initially when they come out, it might be individual things. It might be things that have to do with basketball, but you can just tell when the team is not in tune and they're not together and on the same page. And they weren't thinking about basketball in the first half, and in the second half, we kind of got locked in on the keys of what we needed to work on. Even though we were prepared, it just seems like in the beginning they kind of go out there with their own mindset, no matter how much we say. But the best teacher is the bench. You know, you start pulling guys, and then they'll get it.
When you go through the frustrations that you talked about in the first half and then come out and your team responds that way and has a great second half, how much confidence does that give you in them going forward into conference play and throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, this team has shown some things that are amazing, you know, from holding teams to a low percentage of shooting 50+% against Tennessee in the second half, doing what we did today. I mean, we've shown some amazing things. So I have the confidence that once we get the ship right, that we're going to be able to do some amazing things.
You guys close out non-con play today. How much do you know about this team at this point going into conference play starting Thursday night against Wichita State?
8-5 right now. We're not really excited about that, but you know that's the hand that we gave ourselves. But I know a lot about this team now, and I know what buttons to push at the right time. They just have to be more aware of things that we're really working on and going to the game. We challenge them every time to understand what we're doing with the scouting reports and what players can hurt us the most versus, you know, players that couldn't. And that's the next phase of our team of really dissecting who can hurt us the most and who can't, because we'll start playing defense a lot better once we start recognizing that.
Penny, Jeremiah is plus 37 tonight. Is this team still very reliant on him, and what does that performance sort of mean going into conference play?
Well, I think that definitely we need him. I think that they know that he's our leader. And numbers like he put up today, you know, it shows that he's a first-team all-conference guy. He's a guy that we need to play with high energy every night because he'll be able to put these type of numbers up and everybody else will follow. I don't know if we're just reliant on him only because the team kind of surrounds him and kind of supports what he does and does their own thing, but he's definitely the biggest piece to where we need to go if we're going to go to the NCAA tournament.
Penny, now that you're heading into conference play, what's the identity of this team? Do you have a firm sense of what it is or what it should be?
I think our identity right now is that we will play hard, even though we didn't do so in the first half. I think for a majority of the games, teams will say we get our guys to play hard. And we don't execute as well as we should on the offensive end or the defensive end all the time, but the energy is usually right. And, you know, have to give the guys credit for that. So I think our identity is going to be that we play hard and that, you know, we're going to turn you over.
Coach, outside of Jeremiah Martin's 8 assists, you only had 14 assists. So what do you have to do to get the rest of the team moving the ball around like Jeremiah?
Yeah, that's what we talked about after the game. We want to get up to 30 assists a game. Today it was only 22 assists. And, you know, there's just too much, the ball sticking too much. That's not moving it. Guys penetrating, getting downhill and making the play for the next guy. We haven't done it in a while, though. We've been more of a set-up team in the half-court offense or getting steals and getting layups. So we definitely have to start sharing the ball a lot better than what we have.
Coach, you emphasized on-ball defense in yesterday's press conference. What was your thoughts on that today, and did it improve, and where does it need to go from this point?
Yeah, we did improve. You know, they really got a lot of shots out of their offense coming off down screens. Really wasn't a lot of dribble penetration. So I was really proud of that because that's one thing that you're going to have. We have our defense set up to help, but individually on the ball, you have to guard your man. So I was proud of what I saw today.
You'd mentioned that you know, you guys are going to start putting numbers to different opponents, like what you want to limit people to. Did you reach that for this game, and is that just kind of change with the opponent you face?
It definitely changes with the opponent that we're facing, but we did not reach our number today. And then they also shot 50% and 47% from three. So we didn't reach any of our numbers today, but that doesn't mean that, you know, we didn't try. I mean, we still beat them by 31 points. So, you know, there's a fine line. Even though we got off to a bad start, I think we can just say to the guys, we get off to a better start, those percentages come down.
Hey, Penny, you got 3 impact players. What would it take to get all 3 of them going at the same time for one game consistently?
Yeah, I think that's what I talked about after the game as well. You have to identify who your guys are that you have to go to. You can't have 9, 10 guys trying to score the basketball. You got to go through your guys. And we know who those guys are, and we got to get them the ball, and then they got to make the best decision for the team when they get the ball. They can't shoot it every time. They have to make the best decision for themselves and the team.
Despite the mistakes you've talked about, the team has scored 90-plus points in 5 straight games. What does that mean to you, and how do you turn that into the defensive end and start lining those numbers up? Yeah,
that's amazing how many points that we can score in such a short period of time. We can put numbers on the board. If we just get the defensive side of the ball the way we want and the way that we're capable of doing, we're going to win a lot of games for the rest of this season. We're not going to be in situations where we're going to be coming back from deficits. We're going to be up a lot. If we can continue, we're going to score the ball. We just have to defend people the same way.
Hello, Coach Penny. I want to say awesome full court press. Keep it up. And what do you think about your guys being, how physical are they? Do they get fatigued really early? Like, I want to know what the strength and condition is.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're in a good shape. I think that we've done a good job, you know, as the season has gone on to do more conditioning in practice. A lot of people don't see how much we really, really run in practice because we want to make the game. It makes the game easier. And I think the guys, and the way we rotate, I think we kind of have a feel for guys. Probably 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, if they're playing as hard as they can play, they need to come out of the game. But I think we're in great condition.